Thanks for clicking. You're listening to Time In with yours truly, Tommy Crenshaw. With me, as always, the amazing Ricardo Lungus.
How you doing tonight, Tommy?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I suffered a minor injury. I thought I sprained my ankle cutting the grass. I got one of those self-powered mowers because I thought I still was athletic. You push it. My yard's small. Push it, and I stepped on a turtle. And the turtle died.
Classic.
Yeah, but I had to bury the turtle because it's bad luck, and I put a little. I assumed he was a Christian turtle, so I put a little cross. It could have been, another faith. So I'm just. I don't know how you find a turtle's faith. How do you know what you can look and find the gender of the turtle, but even today maybe they don't identify with that kind of stuff. What's
the subject for today? What we got going on?
Let's get into this. So one thing that's always puzzled me, and I got my ideas. I've thought about this. Is why the NBA loves small markets. They love small markets. None of the other sports organizations out there are doing this. So what I want to ask, I'm going to pose to you, and take a minute to think about this, Ricardo. I want you to define what a small market is.
If I had to guess, I would say it's like a large market, but smaller.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good way to put it. I think most people would agree with that, and it's
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you.
I'll just go kind of dive into this a little bit and just kind of set it up, put the ball in the tee. Is that the NBA goes into small markets, and the obvious reason people think is because competition. They're going to be like the big man on campus, right? They're going to go into a city that doesn't have any pro sports team, and they're going to get all these instant fans. They don't have to build a fan. Like you go to New York, and it's just like you're competing with all the sports, and then just all kinds of other stuff. So you have to have a history, and you got years and years. But you're going in brand new. You want to get the excitement going. So you go into a place that doesn't have any. And by the way, the NBA's got a lot of teams, cities that have no sports franchise. I can just name off the top of my head, right? You got San Antonio, you got Salt Lake City, Utah, you got Sacramento, California, you got Orlando, Florida, you got Memphis, you got Oklahoma City. Portland, Indiana. You get. There's a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, there's tons of them.
But those are places that just don't have any other teams, and that's the point. So
exactly, and to go to your point, and there might be like small sports stuff. They might have a rugby league or something like that, like a local rugby or a AAA baseball team or something like that. Something low mark. Something that 500 people may know about them, may go see them. When they come into town. Stuff like that, but nothing that brings in like tens of thousands of peoples.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I'm not discounting the MLS. And to my point is that name one city where the NBA is at the top of the food chain. Sports-wise. Like who? L.A. Maybe L.A. Maybe you've got the Lakers. But outside Lakers, you go to New York, Yankees are the king of that town. And even go to Chicago. When the Bulls were dominating the NBA. One of the best eras of NBA basketball. It was still a Cubs town. And the Cubs sucked back then. All due respect to Dawson, Sandberg, Maddox, and all those guys. They were fantastic. Well, they made the playoffs in '98. That was the year that last year I think that the Bulls made it. But still.
Nobody thinks about the Hawks. Nobody thinks about the Atlanta Hawks. It's all about the Falcons. It's all about the Braves.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Atlanta's not a Hawks town. And
no.
Yeah. They beat out two hockey teams.
The hockey. This is the United States of America. We ain't that big on hockey. No, I like me some hockey. My third son, he's in a farm league for the Maple Leafs. But
No, I know that Lungus family is fantastic. Sports players.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but oh yeah, no, I mean you can't name a town that's dominated by the NBA except for the ones that were the only guys in town, and that's my point. But I think there's some other things that I think that play into this. Okay, and one of them is that you get out into smaller markets. If you go out into like Texas and into places, even Louisiana or North Carolina, your roads are a little bit wider, they're a little bit more spread out, so they can accommodate bigger cars. And basketball players require automobiles that are larger. They're larger people. So there's a little bit ease to get around. I know that's not a major point, but it's one that's that some players do enjoy.
Oh, I agree. That's the way. That's why KG stayed so long with the Timberwolves. He was able to move around a lot easier. He's a big guy. KG's a tall. He's a big, strong, muscular guy. I mean, we had lunch about a year ago. I haven't talked to him for a while. He's still good though. He's good, still good. I called him and wished him happy birthday. He's a good fella, he needs a lot of room. He needs a lot of room.
Is it true? I don't know. Did you ask him or did you know? But the word was that when he had gone from Minnesota to Boston, he had a chauffeur drive a hearse, and he would just lie down in the back of the hearse.
Well, of course. Have you seen him? I mean, he is a skyscraper of a man. You can't get in a little Toyota IQ. Yeah. You can't get him in a little smart car. Of course, he had to lay down.
Yeah, how tall?
And plus, he was incredibly paid by the Celtics. Incredibly paid.
Yeah, but he was what? How tall was he? He was like what, 7'7", something like that.
7'7" at least. Yeah, at the very least. You can't just you got to lay down to drive. And Boston is a cramped place.
You heard it here first, folks. Ricardo Lungus says that Kevin Garnett drove himself lying down in a hearse to Boston Celtics games.
Well, he had a custom made car. I mean, that's what he did. He had a custom made car. I mean, when you're that tall, everything is custom for you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything that isn't true. I'm not saying that word that isn't true. You gotta have a custom made car when you're that big.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have to. I mean, it was Shaq. Shaq drives a Mazda Miata. How does that happen? I mean, you have to modify it, right?
Oh, it's custom. It's all custom.
Yeah,
plush and custom.
Yeah, have you seen him drive around in his Miata? It's like looking at a kid driving around one of those little funny little kid cars, the hot mics, whatever.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it looks always convertible.
So so another thing I've heard about the small markets is that it's great for teams to build a solid team because less chance to get in trouble. Your big city's got a lot of distractions, crazy things going on all the time. And they're getting with this, they're getting with that, they're doing all this stuff, right? So guys play better when they're not surrounded by hookers, whores, prostitutes, and gambling and booze and drugs and gang violence and other nefarious activities, whatever players enjoy. So, your smaller markets are kind of detached from that. There's not a whole lot going on. So these guys are just encouraged to go home and play video games. I mean, one exception was probably New Orleans, because, I mean, I think there's a lot of hookers and whores and prostitutes. And
I'm not saying that there's not a lot. I'm just saying that they are present if someone would need such things. But, you go to a place like Utah, like the Jazz, small market, you can't do anything except for being Mormon. And you're not going to have fun. You don't have to worry about when you're a Mormon, with hookers and stuff and cocaine, because they won't allow you to have the hookers and cocaine if you're a Mormon.
Well, I hear the Mormon hookers are very clean.
Oh, I mean, if they're out there, I'm not saying that they are. I'm not saying I've seen a Mormon hooker or two. I'm just saying they're going to be very clean. And also, one thing about the small markets is that it's kind of like a farm league. Lots of people come into small markets, then they go out to the bigger markets. Like KG, like AD. like KD. All these people are branching out to the bigger markets. That's where they get incredibly paid when they go to the bigger markets.
Right. Yeah. No, you have a point. They're treating it like a farm system. That's what a lot of people attacked in baseball, the New York Yankees, of doing. But even the New York Yankees, they're not winning every go round. They're not winning every World Series, which is crazy. You got a small market that happens to win, but they're not consistent. They don't have the tons of trophies. So
one thing, we can harp on the Yankees on another podcast. I tell you that. I got a lot of grief with them, even though I love them and I would die for them. But well, we're talking about the small markets, right? So you go to the small market, you show you can play. Now, some of the small markets, they're like, hey, you come here, we actually got a decent coach. We'll try to build around you. Right.
You mean you're talking about Popovich? I mean, you're talking about Pops.
Well, of course.
You're talking about one team. You're talking about one team.
You can lump
who
a little bit. You can lump a little bit of Cleveland.
Okay,
a little bit of
I thought you were
going to
go George Karl, but
only when Braun was there. And they actually brought him in some help. That's the thing about it. Lots of these small market teams, they got one star. And then they got a bunch of, they got a bunch of, like, you got one 5-star and you got a bunch of 3-stars around them.
LeBron,
now, you gotta have a 3-star, but you know what I'm saying.
LeBron could go and start a team in Pocatello, Idaho, and turn it into a championship team. That doesn't count. I see what you're saying, but LeBron's a difference maker. There's
exactly. I mean, Reggie Miller tried to get it done. But, Karl Malone and John Stockton tried to get it done.
Yeah.
But they also ran into a little bit of trouble. That little bit of trouble's name was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And his pal, Scottie Pippen. And his other pal, Dennis Rodman. And his other pal, Steve Kerr. And his other pal, Cartwright. All these people stood in the way of some of these small market teams, being a little bit bigger. But, that's neither here nor there. Small markets still good though.
Yeah, small markets are still good. Yeah, so also I'll say this, in small markets it's cheaper to build arenas. Investors want to build an arena, they could do it for a fraction of the price and attract the team to come there. I mean, you know how
I feel about arenas. That Diamond does it to me. I don't care about arenas. The only thing I care about is if they have a good skybox. And if they ain't got a good skybox, then they can go kick coins in the street. That's all I care about. An arena's an arena. But cheaper, I guess, for the owner and stuff like that. But
but you go to the foreign leagues and you got some leagues that'll do like chain link fences around, like it's street ball. You got teams that do these crazy, they're trying to attract people. Like here in the States, we give a couple of trampolines and some guys bouncing around in costumes and some attractive girls with pom-poms, and we're all entertained, right? But in other markets, they need guys with chainsaws swinging from ropes and people set on fire and crazy things happening. So so I think that if maybe we incorporated some of that stuff, that would get an NBA team to another market. But that's just I'm just spitballing here is all I'm doing.
Oh, the Crenshaw spitball. It's beautiful.
I think we'll wrap it up from there. Thanks for listening to Time In with yours truly, Tommy Crenshaw. TTFN.